Welcome back to Youth Discovery Show. I'm your host, Alphazion Puta, and today we have a special guest, Patrick Daka. Sir Patrick, welcome to the show.
I'm thankful for being here. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Lovely.
Sure thing. Yes.
So, before we go into the discussion, please describe yourself in one word.
Visionary.
Who was Patrick Nemo Styles then, and who is Sir Patrick Wrights now?
Okay, to me, I believe that the transition that happened between those two is when I discovered what I am supposed to do. So things changed from being Nemo Styles to being Patrick when I discovered what I am supposed to do.
Could you please kindly tell us a brief story about the background of your music to what led you to stop?
Okay, the reason why I shifted from music is because, there's a way people perceive music and there's a way people perceive writing. So I had to change so that people can get the real thing. So I had to shift from music to writing.
So from that, what would you say sparked a light in you in writing this book, Sir Patrick?
So the reason why I shifted from music to writing is because, when you look at purpose, after I discovered purpose, I had to find ways on how to deliver that purpose. And music wasn't one of the things that could push it to where it's supposed to be. So writing was just the right thing that I could do to push everything. So I had to shift from music to writing because it is a way that people can get to have for a long time, like that.
I see. So from that, have you noticed any difference between writing a song and writing the book?
Yes, there's so much difference. Because when you are a musician, if you look at music, basically you find that it's hard for people to take you serious at that level. But when you begin writing, you become an authority. This is why people who write are called authors, because it takes authority. So there was a shift, yes. There's a very big difference.
So please, could you kindly tell us what inspired you to write this book?
Okay, I have a number of inspiration that led me to writing a book. And one of them is that writing a book would leave a legacy that people can tap into knowledge. And one of the things is that if you have seen, authors do not die, if you have observed. That is why if you look at the Bible, it has been here for a long time. So
yes,
men had to put it in a book so that their lives can continue. So what inspired me to write the book is that what I know can be able to be transferred from person to person so they can be able to access it. So that is the more reason what inspired me to write the book.
Wow, I think I'm inspired to write my own book right now. Wow. So, Sir Patrick, can you kindly give us an overview of what the book is basically about?
Okay, the book, When Vision is Known, is a book that is talking about knowing what you're supposed to be. Because most of the people lack direction in what they're doing. And the book is about helping you to know what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
When you read the book, you find that there are tips to knowing what you're supposed to be, how you can know it, things to avoid, and things to embrace. So it's a very good book. Yeah.
Alright, Sir Patrick. So we all know from writing a book, we have challenges that come through and obstacles. So what can you say are the challenges that you faced and how you overcome them?
Yes, I've had a number of problems during the period I was writing the book. And the problem is you find that you have a lot of things to do, and in the process of doing all those things, you find that you are supposed to put things in order. This is how a book is supposed to be. And even as you are writing, you're supposed to be learning new things. So you find that the moment you want to write, there's something that comes up. So you find that there are some things you're supposed to change, or maybe your writing schedule is disturbed because there's some things that have just come up. Maybe it's work or any maybe issue. So I've learned to actually use time that I found, because sometimes I'll say, okay, this is the period I write, and something comes up. So I try my best to write at any opportunity I find if I'm distracted at my writing time.
Amazing. That's amazing, Sir Patrick.
Sure.
We all know that from writing a book, there are always some criticism and negativity that will come from people. So how would you say are you going to be ready to handle such negativity and criticism from people?
Okay, that's a good thing. I've actually had such an experience before.
Wow.
Someone telling me are you ready for these things? Are you ready to do this? Are you ready to do that? But when you follow the title of the book, when vision is known, I would give an example of myself. I have known the vision. So even when negatives come, people ask me questions, I still go on because there's something that I see. My vision is known. So I keep moving like that. So I just forget about the negatives and focus on the vision and grow like that. So it's a book that is coming out of what I do, not just out of anything else. So that is how I handle all these negatives.
Wow, wow, wow. So, Sir Patrick, I believe writing a book is not an easy thing. I believe you had to put in extra time. So, what would you say at some point in your life you felt like you doubted yourself when it came to writing the book?
I've had times before, like when I was writing my third chapter of the book, I felt like giving up because I could look at a lot of things that came onto me, and it was so bad. I wanted to give up, but I kept moving because vision is known, as I said. So things come. I'm sure of that things come. So you just have to be strong moving forward.
So, Sir Patrick, we know that there are other different readers out there and other different writers who wrote the book. What would make your book different in order for other people to come and read your book?
Okay, one of the reasons, and the most reasons why I think that the book will move is because if you look at the number of books that you have read on vision, there are very few books out there. One day I was doing my research only to find that there are less than 8 books out there that are written on the topic. So I believe that this topic is one of the topics that is mostly forgotten about. People write about finances, they write about relationships, they write about a lot of things, and they don't talk about vision. Because, for example, if in a relationship you don't have a vision, you have nothing to fight for.
Exactly.
So vision has to be the basic of something. So I think just the topic sets everything apart. Just the topic that the book is talking about is just completely different.
From writing your book, probably you are going to develop a fan base. So how are you going to maintain that fan base, Sir Patrick?
One of the things that I think I will start doing is to get people updated with the same content, because some people, you find that after reading the book they don't get fully what is there. So by keeping them updated, maybe I post a thought from the book, I just extend part of the idea and keeping it rolling like that, people can be able to relate that, okay, wow, this is what he meant on this part, this is what he meant. So it is something that will be ongoing. You get people telling them about, okay, this part meant this, because not everything can be in the book, but I'm sure to keep them following up like that.
Oh,
Sure.
Sure. So, Sir Patrick, there are other authors out there who are interested, for example, like me, because I feel like I can write a book anytime soon. So, like other authors out there who are seeing you right now writing a book, what words of encouragement do you have to them?
So, it is not much of an encouragement, but it is kind of something, it is hard.
Lovely.
I would say the process is hard, and every writer springs out from a reader. So if you cannot read, you are not qualified to be an author. Wow. So for me to write this book, it took me 6 years of being a reader. So I had to travel all this path, 6 solid years, just being a reader. And I discovered that I appreciate books because there was someone who wrote. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe I can also write a book so that a reader can be able to reach through. Yes. Because if someone else didn't write, I wouldn't have read.
Exactly.
So if I won't write, someone else won't read. So being a writer is something that first you have to be a reader for quite some time and be able to accept people's information, get to know a lot of things, because writing is not easy. It's not easy. So you have to be a reader and you have to be committed to what you're doing, because it is a sensitive thing to write a book.
So, Sir Patrick, from what you explained, I believe there are people out there who are so eager to read your book. So where exactly can people find your book, Sir Patrick? Because I, for one, I must read your book.
So they can get my book on, we have Facebook, we post a link there.
All right.
And we are trying to find out platforms that we can be able to put it so that people can be able to access it very quickly and easy, because it doesn't have to be hard for people to access. So for now, we're still putting up things in place, on how we can make it very accessible to people. But most of the links will be there, I'm very much sure. But we're just putting in order the platforms on which the book will be accessed.
Well, Sir Patrick, it has been nice having you on the show. I, for one, am inspired on your book, and I believe the viewers out there are ready to go and read your book, because we've seen that you've given us an insight on what your book is about. And the readers out there, I know that they are ready. Well, I myself, for one, I am ready to learn from your book.
Sure, thank you. I've had a good time as well. Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Thank you. So there you have it, viewers. From Sir Patrick Wright, he wrote the book, and you can able to access the book on ebook and visit his Facebook page on Patrick Daka. Well, I'm your host, Alfazion Puta, and this has been the Youth Discovery Show. Until next time.
La 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 la. Ndigufuna, mwati.